Hello, this is Sam from the pitch, and today we're doing a hockey podcast. I'm with.
I'm Brendan Lewis. I'm a senior. I'm Sebastian Fries. I'm a sophomore.
All right, so let's begin with the Caps record, and they're just talk about the Caps in general. So, Sebastian, what are your thoughts on their start to a season?
Well, admittedly, I looked at the stats really quickly, and I do like that the Capitals are up. Right, obviously, this is last year was certainly the transition year for the Capitals. This year, 100% is going to start the beginning of the comeback, sort of, and we are already seeing that, especially with a load of production. Right, we had that. I think it was 8-1 or 8-2 was the final score. That's just an amazing thing to see as a Capitals fan. I think this season, just based off the start, we might see another cup run, even with an aging poor amount of players. It's wonderful to see. I don't know. But I think Brendan probably is going to have some good words for this match.
Okay, Brendan.
The big story of the Caps, off-season additions, and also a bunch of the young guys stepping up. Guys like Protas and McMichael have been just stepping in their new roles and having a bunch of production with it. Also, guys like Pierre-Luc Dubois has been really good. He's just been perfect for the second line, really elevating Wilson and McMichael's game a lot. The fourth line has also been very nice for us. We thought it would get weaker over the offseason, but it didn't. If anything, it got better.
I actually gotta say that Protus not only points, like he's actually scoring. Last season he had 5 goals in total. Throughout like 15 games, he has already 6, so he surpassed the amount.
Yeah, I mean, you can't forget Ovi right now, even with the age, he's still putting up massive numbers for the Capitals and himself.
By the way, we haven't really gotten into Checker, no Chitcher, I don't know which one it is, but he really is bringing the offense on the blue line. Like last year it was majorly Carlson majority of the time, but he's getting older. He's 35, and Chikrin kind of came in and just helped the Caps, like creating more opportunities. He already has 3 goals. Like he's very a good boost offensively, I gotta say.
Good defense.
I do have to say, Chirkin and Carlson, who've been together a lot, they're one of the best D lines in the entire league right now. They're leading in a bunch of stats, like especially expected goals. They've got a really good plus minus. Right now, Chikrin's got a +7 in 2025, so he's definitely clicking. And he's missed games. And he still has 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points for a defenseman, which is very nice. And he's on his final year of his contract, so hopefully the Caps can get him back. But he looks like he's very promising for us.
So do you guys want to move on to the OV record chase? So I guess let me just say so Ovi first of all has been on a tear. I believe he has like some 5 goals in the last 7 games, and he has 10 goals in 15 games, which is, if my stats are correct, which is incredible at 39 years old, and he'll definitely be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And it's not only he's not carrying the team necessarily because there are other players scoring, but he really helps a lot to the Caps offense. He's like a major piece to the Caps offense, and without him, the Caps would definitely be in a much worse spot. What do you guys think about that?
I think you're absolutely right on that part.
Ben, any last?
Ovi's he's been playing a completely different game this year. Obviously, the goals are kind of, but he's also playing. He looks a lot faster than the start of last year. Last year, he kind of came in. He was not exactly fully conditioned. He seems like he was still taking the Rangers loss seriously, and he's a new player this season. I mean, even like there's a clip of him going around in the Columbus game where it's 6-2. They have a game the next day, and he's back checking like crazy. Like he was moving. So
yeah, I mean, part of me wonders if his step down last season had something to do with his parents' death. You got to remember that I think his dad ended up dying mid-season 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah, close to a stadium series
really
or whatever
ended up,
it was.
That affected his game very poorly, and I think now we're getting back
Well, I think we can move on to the Lars Eller trade, which I know Brennan has a lot to say about that, precisely.
A lot of expertise.
I mean, yeah, I think Eller, what was it, like a third and a fifth? It's definitely an over. Like,
Yeah, it was
the
it
third
was
is 2027.
it was 2027 third round pick and 2025 fifth round pick. So
yeah, it definitely is a bit of an overpayment, but it's something we need because Lapierre he's been awful this year. He's got 2 assists in 12. Huh?
3C position, third center.
Yeah. So our 2-3Cs we've had so far this year have been Lapierre in 12 games. He has 0 goals and 2 assists with a -4 rating. He's been awful defensively. So he needs 1 or 2 more years in Hershey before he can fully break out, hopefully. And Scarbosa, even though in 3 games played he has 1 goal, 1 assist, they're both against St. Louis, where Bennington has a 700 save percentage. He's also shooting 100% for shooting percentage, so don't think that's going to last. But Eller's had, I think it's 3 goals, 3 assists or something.
And 4 goals, 3 assists, I believe, or something. Or 3 goals, 4 assists.
He's been producing on a terrible Pittsburgh team, which we'll get to later.
I also gotta say that he scored the cup-winning goal back in 2018, and so it's nostalgic. It's kind of like really good to see him back with the team. He's familiar with the team also.
I always liked Eller.
And he's good. He's not only good offensively, he's also good defensively.
Yeah, another factor in his game is he is really good at face-offs. He's got like a 60% face-off percentage for like his entire career. He's just gonna fit 3C perfectly, and also he just got a lot of chemistry with the guys already, considering he's been on the team before. Just him and Vrana coming back. Very nice.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess Lars Eller is not necessarily going to be a new addition to the team, but there are a few new additions that I think we can talk about here. So let's move on to that section.
Oh yeah, I guess I'll begin with first of all, like I already said about Chikrin, a very major piece to a Caps offense on the blue line. I know they wanted to improve on that from last season with their negative 37 goal differential and like second to last goals by defensemen, like 17 or something, like close to that range. So they definitely wanted to improve on that. PLD, although he has had a hard time scoring goals, he's been a major factor on the plays. So if you guys want to add something.
Yeah, just a few more additions that are really nice. Logan Thompson has been, for what we got for him, where we only paid, I think, 2 third-rounders, he's been a very solid goalie. He's been better than Lindgren this season. He's only at a 766K cap. So very cheap. That was a very good deal. Another person we got was Matt Roy, who's been injured most of the season, but the games he's been, he's looked pretty good. He's been very nice defensively, and he's also been chipping a bit offensively, but we didn't expect him to do that much, so not surprised that's slower.
Did you talk about Duhaime?
I don't think we haven't talked about Duhaime.
Well, Duhaime kind of complements the Caps' fourth line center Dow really well. They both are very good at defense, but they also empower the Caps offense a little bit. They keep the lines in check. They keep teams from scoring goals on us, and they just kind of keep the puck in the opposing zone and chip in with some goals sometimes. So
that's what defense does.
And another big thing about that fourth line I'd like to say is that they've actually been, on top of being very good defensively, they've actually put up some pretty good points. So Taylor Rash, 3 goals and 4 assists. Duhaime has 3 goals, 2 assists. And what was Dowd's stats? He has 4 goals and 2 assists. So they've been great defensively, but they're also chipping offensively when we need them.
They're really good for a fourth line. Are there any contract expirations?
Oh yeah, contract expirations. I believe Chikrin expires this offseason. He has currently a 4.5 or 4.6 cap.
Yeah, although I don't think he'll be leaving the Capitals. So again, we talked about how he's really stepped
I
up
think the Caps will.
as a young Capital.
Yeah, I think the Caps keep him because they have the money. They have like over 20 million or something this season with Backstrom, Oshie coming off, stuff like that. They'll resign him to like about an 8-year contract. I think he's like 27 or something.
Yeah, he's definitely going to become a legacy Capitals player.
Another two people that's gonna suck when they expire. Lindgren and Thompson, who are both Lindgren 1.1 million and Thompson 766K.
Lindgren is severely underpaid.
So both of them.
Yeah, we gotta get Lindgren more money there.
That is like like 6, 7, 8 mil goaltender duo that we've gotten for like under 2 mil. So that's gonna hurt when they both come off the book. Like,
well, hopefully we resign them because they're both good players, production and performance in all areas.
Another factor is Mangiapane, who I think will probably resign with us. He also does have a $5.8 million cap hit. So I'm expecting this next contract to be a lot lower than that. That'll give us some cap room.
Yeah. That's it for contract expires. So I guess we'll move on to Capitals goaltending. Yeah.
Yeah. So about that, by the way, yesterday Thompson's was, I think is his last name. He actually lost his first game in 7 games that he played. I think although it was a big meltdown by the Caps last game, they were winning 3-1 with 10 minutes left in the third. Not gonna talk about what happened, but they lost. And so he suffered his first loss, but his record is 6-0-1, I believe, and he's been really solid when the Caps needed him this season.
It's just a correction there. It's 7-0-1.
7-0-1. 7-0-1.
I'll talk about Lindgren, I guess, then. Lindgren last season was insane. He was definitely outperforming his contract and his expectations. And he's now kind of come back to earth. Right now, he's got I don't check the exact amount. He's got like an 896, I think. His stats don't show him as like a great goaltender right now.
He has an 897 save percentage with a 2.76 goals against average.
I mean, he's made some big saves. He also let in some pretty weak goals. I forgot who it was, but one of them was just easy save he just let in. So,
but
the Caps are 10-4-1 without being carried by a goaltender so far. That's kind of the big note.
By the way, just an update on Thompson. He has a 906 save percentage with a 2.71 goals against average. Actually, before we move on, I gotta say that at the end we'll preview the game tonight. Today is November 15th, so Friday, and the Caps are playing Avalanche at 9 p.m. today. So we can also preview that at the end. But what were we gonna say, Sebastian?
I think after the goaltending, we get to move on to the fun old league-wide surprises and disappointments instead of just the Capitals' surprises and disappointments. And I would like to start off with an unexpected one, which is Pittsburgh. I don't really think anyone expected Pittsburgh to be absolutely booty for a whole season.
Well, they expected Pittsburgh to be bad, but not to the point of bad that they have been.
Of bottom of the league bad.
Yeah, that's probably not what was expected, but they didn't make any changes per se this offseason. So, and they set a 6-9-3 record. So. Anything you guys gotta say?
It's just they definitely are disappointing because just last season with that roster, you expect them to step up a bit because they underperformed last season. I think it's kind of proven that guys like Erik Karlsson are now kind of old and washed. It wasn't just a fluke season. Probably the next, I'd say a surprise is definitely the Wild right now. They've been really good. People like Kaprizov has been at an MVP level, and that's like I think the last 46 games of last season, he had 90 points. So if you paid attention, you could kind of see it coming. But Kaprizov, Spurgeon, Boldy, they've all stepped up.
All of them. Yeah.
They've just been insane this year. Seb, do you want to take another one of them?
Sure. For me personally, Jason Robertson's very big surprise that he wasn't exactly
Disappointment, you mean?
producing as much as last time.
You mean disappointment, right? Disappointment.
No. The what? Yeah, he's a disappointment. I was not expecting him to do so poorly. I don't think he's rarely getting points compared to players of his caliber. Right? It's expected that players will get, about a point per game, if not roughly maybe 0.8 points per game. I would say is a good first line team leader, and that's a minimum. But he's only had 4 points in 15 games. That's less than 50%. Oh no, that's just over 50% of his games he's getting a point in, and only 4 of those points are goals, which is admittedly, as much as I hate to say it, because I'm not nearly good enough to be an NHL coach or a player. But if I was in charge of the Dallas Stars right now, I don't think I would keep Robertson on the first line. There's definitely going to be somebody who's going to be better than him.
The Avalanche have been pretty bad to start off.
Pretty surprising, and especially Georgiev, right?
Georgiev has been terrible. They're 9-8 right now, but some big surprises. That the star power is really clicking right now. Cal McCarr is having a career year by far. He has, let me double check how many points. In 17 games played, he has 25 points, which is insane for a defenseman. Number one by I think 8 points. McKinnon has been going off in 17 games played, 33 points. Rantanen has been great too. In 17 games played, 12 goals and 13 assists, which is nuts. So they're clicking. It's just Avalanche are very injured right now, and they don't really have that much depth because of just the cap. So it's just all star power and basically no depth at all. So very interesting. Why don't you talk about Caulfield?
Well, what is there to say? He's basically a goal scorer that Montreal has never seen before. He's not Ovechkin, nowhere near, but I think he has a 50-goal season in him, and I think Montreal will benefit from his production because he's been leading with around already 10 goals, also double digits with Ovechkin. So yeah.
I'll wrap this up. Definitely one of the biggest disappointments is the Predators. They had the biggest offseason by a mile. Signed players like Stamkos, Shea, and Marchessault, and they've just fallen flat on their face. They're dead last in the league. They're already considering firing their coach, Andrew Burnett, and it's just a mess there. Brady Shea is on a 7x7 deal and has done almost nothing this year while being terrible defensively.
And by the way, the record is 5-9-3.
I'm pretty sure that's dead last. I saw something online about that. But
yeah, it's also surprising. It's also surprising because they have a very talented goaltender in Saros, who's basically very good. He's carrying. Although he has been good also this season, but he's still.
Yeah, I mean, I think the team around him's kind of let in a bunch from him. I think it's a 9-10 save percentage, which isn't horrible.
Well, first of all, let me wrap things up. Let me just say about tonight's game. By the time you'll probably hear this, the game will be over. But at November 15th, 9 p.m., the Cavs play the Avalanche. The Avalanche have been much better this season. Before I let Brent or Sebastian say anything, I want to say that Mikko Rantanen has a hat trick this season, and they have lots of star players like Brent said. So they will not be easy, but they haven't been that good because they have a 9-8 record. So do you want to add anything?
I mean, yeah, I feel like whoever's going to win depends on which version of Georgiev's going to show up. Also, pretty sure Lindgren's starting tonight. We'll see if he can bounce back. Just seeing how we can shut down their star players. That's really, if you shut them down, there's not much left on the Avalanche. We'll see how we can go against their defense.
The first and second line need to score some and produce a little bit. Well,
100%, yeah.
Well, I guess this will be the end of. My name is Ivan, so I'm a sophomore. I was leading this discussion, and we also have Sebastian here, who's also a sophomore. Sebastian and Bannon, a senior, and we're all on WJ hockey team. So we hope you've enjoyed this, and this is the end.